In this video, we're going to talk about Ripple looking to expand into the Philippines. We're also going to talk about why custody is so important to XRP holders and utility. It's the main thing when looking at a project. Let's go.
And now, the XRP Minute with Chip on the Chain.
Chip here with the XRP Minute. If you are new here, go ahead and go down below, click that subscribe button, hit that bell so you can get notified when any new videos drop. Now let's dive into the shallow end head first for maximum impact. Ripple optimistic for greater ODL and XRP adoption into the Philippines. So this came out of the Crypto News Flash. So as the Philippine newspaper Manila Standard reports, Ripple's prospecting further expansion opportunities into the Philippines for its XRP-based ODL payment solution, which is open for digital payments. With Coins.ph, Sendfriend, and Asimo, Ripple already has 3 partners covering the Philippine market. Kelvin Lee, a Singapore-based head of Ripple for Southeast Asia, explained in an email interview with the newspaper that Ripple's developed on-demand liquidity to solve the liquidity trap in international payments. He further explained that ODLs using cryptocurrency XRP, now remember he's talking the basics because not a lot of people understand exactly what it's about. He has to inform them that it's solving a $10 trillion USD problem that have had to be used to pre-finance accounts and global payments. Thanks to ODL, RippleNet customers with XRP can receive immediate liquidity without having to maintain these pre-funded accounts for every currency nationwide, or I should say worldwide. And this is your Nostra Vostra accounts. So that estimated 10 trillion is basically trapped. Lee noted that Asimo has been able to reduce transaction costs by 30 to 50% for Filipinos living abroad who send money home to their families. Despite the exchange rate fluctuations, this allows Filipinos to send money to their families and loved ones at lower cost. So this is big, right? It's a big, big deal. And again, so now we're starting to see that a newspaper as big as the Manila Standard is starting to cover this stuff. So they're starting to cover it, the partnerships that are available and getting it out to more people. And this is all part of the widespread adoption. So Ripple CEO says that he wants to deliver lots of utility of XRP. Now, some of this came out of an article and some of the stuff that Brad Garlinghouse had said recently. Garlinghouse said that Ripple's a capitalist on the XRP market as it owns a lot of XRP. So does he care about the overall XRP market? Absolutely 100%. You've seen a lot of critics out there saying that, well, what does Ripple really care? Yeah, well, XRP is central to Ripple's success. And while it may be trading far from its highs of the cryptocurrency market standards, Ripple CEO highlights points that the company is primarily focused on delivering a lot of utility through XRP. It could take years. However, it's been years in the making already. We've already been at this for several years, so it's really nothing new. And one of the big takeaways here, when we start talking about analogies, Garlinghouse believes that Ripple is to payments as Amazon was to books. Now, if you remember, Amazon started out selling books. That's what was their original intent. It's kind of weird. You don't think of Amazon today as selling books, although, the other day my daughter said, hey, I need to get this book. And I was like thinking, where can we get the book? The libraries aren't open yet. Let me think. Where can we go? The bookstores aren't open. Never think of Amazon. I use Amazon at least a couple times a week. So you almost don't even think about that anymore. But if you think about Amazon in terms of what they do today, to AWS, they're hosting and all this. This is a big deal when it comes to becoming the Amazon of payments, right? So being the most well-known and a lot of different areas that they could potentially cover. Now I want to get into this. This is really important. XRP YouTube scams target users of Binance, Crypto.com, Coinbase, Kraken, and this is a very big problem. You actually may have seen an ad at the beginning of this with Brad Garlinghouse talking, or somebody else, from a conversation talking about crypto. It's a big problem in the space, and Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple has pointed this out. I don't want to really get into this entire article, but I'm just telling you guys that you got to be very careful because it's easy to believe, and I want to be somebody who, responsible here and saying, be careful of what you're doing out there, and don't be just sending crypto mindlessly to people who make, crazy claims or put their wallets. Reach out to somebody who may be in the know, a friend, somebody in the XRP community, because we got to watch out for each other. Thomas Silkjær put this out. I think you guys really should retweet this. He says, dear Coinbase support, in the past couple of days, your users have been scammed out of more than 230,000 XRP to scams promoted on YouTube. So isn't it time that you started warning your users when they withdraw to potentially fraudulent accounts? Yeah, we know what the accounts are. We know, this is everyone's responsibility, but especially on the exchanges. This came out of XRP, XRP Floor Forensics, talking about this XRP scam that was promoted that that Thomas Silkjær is behind. And if we go back further, we at XRP are tracking these scams, and our API is updated in real time as funds are moved to fresh accounts. So all these guys have to do is pull in this XRP lore. I always mess that up. The XR lore. Pull in this API, and he's doing the work for you. All of these exchanges should be jumping on this right away and be stopping this. This is done to both warn users and prevent laundering. You don't want to get wrapped up into this. It's real easy. Don't think, oh, yeah, I'm above it. Listen, we're all possibly susceptible to this. He goes on to say, okay, forget that. Make that 360,000 XRP this minute. That was 12 hours ago. 7 hours ago, it was 830,000 XRP, climbing up to 1 million. So be careful when you're out there. Thank you, Thomas Silkjær, for putting together this API, and thank you for calling this out. This tweet will be below. You guys can go ahead and tweet it out, get it out there. Let's see if we can't get them to jump on this and warn people. So if you're sending it to one of these fraudulent addresses out of your exchange, you should have a warning going, warning, hey, this is not legit. Are you sure you want to send it here? Because he's already tracking them all. This came from B Chain Reader at he reached out to Galgatron. He said, hey, from your tweets, I saw that you wrote about a combination of Zum and exchanges that now the Toast wallet is out of active development. Question, for long-term storage, a cold or paper wallet approach still seems to be the best. Would you agree? And Galgatron said, hey, for the super paranoid that want to keep their coins in deep cold storage, use a fresh OS install your crypto wallet, disconnect internet, create new address, copy and restore keywords onto paper, put somewhere safe, format the hard drive, send coins to that address. Oh my God, I'm out of breath already. That's a lot of work right there if you think about that. And what I want to talk a little bit more about later in this video is I want to talk about some things that are coming out that are going to be better for everybody in the community. But before we get there, let's look at this tweet by Ryan Zagone. If you guys don't know who Ryan Zagone is, he sits on the Faster, he's a Ripple employee, but he also sits on the Faster task force, payments task force. He says, or I think he did, I think he's since resigned, off of that position, but he says, hey, this is scary if you connected Alexa to your bank. With a single Amazon link click by a victim, attackers could access Echo users' home network to automatically install or edit Alexa skills without the knowledge of the user and acquire the victim's past Alexa requests. And that was basically an article that he was commenting on, which is right here, talking about Alexa hacks. Granted attackers access to an Echo user's smart home network. There's so many vulnerabilities that are revealed in this, Amazon Alexa that they can take over your home network. So you have multiple things like security cameras and all kinds of stuff. But suppose you're using it even to access your bank or make transfers or something along those lines. He's basically, guessing what that might be like. But this is important stuff. Look, just because you connect something to Wi-Fi and you have it in your network doesn't mean it's protected behind some kind of a firewall. I just want to call some attention to this and be very careful about this. James Rule XRP, banks are the key to crypto adoption in the United States. This came out of Hacker Noon. And if you guys didn't see it on the other channel, which is down below, we had James Rule XRP on the XRP roundtable. And we had a really nice chat last night. So check that out if you haven't had a chance to watch that. Here's the article right here, and here's why I believe, going back to what Galgatron was saying, a lot of what he said was absolutely spot on. If you're paranoid, you want to be sure, those are some steps you could take to ensure your crypto is safe. Here's the best part of this. Banks are the key to crypto adoption in the United States. And this is 100% spot on right here. This is a massive step forward for Americans in the cryptocurrency space, because before now, only specific businesses could hold cryptocurrency in custody. But as NASDAQ states, this could push massive corporations like Bank of America or Wells Fargo to provide cryptocurrency holding services to customers. If a bank offers these services, customers have much more reason to trust the often suspicious assets like Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin's the butt of every joke because be careful about the evil Bitcoin. No. It's digital assets in general. It's scary. You know, when you're sending some crypto to your cold storage wallet, whether you use a Trezor or you use an Elipal or a Ledger, it doesn't matter. You always send a small amount, right? Your heart starts beating until you know it's there. You know, imagine you send 10,000, 15, 20,000 XRP and you made a mistake. So the Main Street's not going to come and you're not going to get your grandmother to start using this. Now your grandmother trusts the bank, but she doesn't trust this whole entire process. That's why this is especially very good for what we're getting into. So I saw this tweet right here. This was put out by Fiat Leak. It said, hey, could Flare Networks XRP fork spark? This is the token that we soon will learn more about, that we will be able to, as XRP holders, will be able to get a 1-to-1. So if you have 5,000 or 10,000 XRP, you will be able to claim your 10,000 Spark, and we'll have more details on what that's going to look like when I'll do another follow-up video on that, what that looks like. But DeFi is absolutely coming into XRP. And this is a phenomenal event, and it's really exciting for us. It's going to create a lot of, I would say, invigoration of DeFi, and has a focus on XRP. It's a really awesome development. And I wanted to take a look at this. I thought this was really fun. Nick Szabo, some people think he's Satoshi. I've actually heard that floated. Gold has severe flaws. Now he's talking here, I think he makes some really good points. And last night on the roundtable on the other channel, you can look down below there, but we talked about that crypto is better than gold, specifically Bitcoin is better than gold. And Szabo makes some good points here. He says gold has severe flaws. Physical locality makes it less secure and far more transactionally local, and thus more vulnerable to politics and less sound that we can now achieve with Bitcoin. And he's kind of right about that. Think about that. Do you care how long it takes for a payment to process when you're sending it to someone on the other part of the world? Now you could send crypto, you could send tokens that are backed by gold, but it's not the same thing when we're comparing it to gold. He says with good key management and taking advantage of its trust minimized global settlement. And he goes on to say the Aztecs took gold tribute from their subject tribes. Spanish conquistadors looted the Aztecs. Sir Francis Drake looted Spanish galleons, seizing gold vaults in a universal war objective. Many politicians have controlled monetary systems by controlling gold. You hold the gold, you control the system, you make the rules. Now we can do better. Probably the biggest flaw with the monetary metals, gold, silver, and copper is that they're costly to assay and validate. This led making people vulnerable to, for example, requiring them to trust centralized entities such as coin minters and banknote issuers. And said trust is often abused, and we know this because this has happened since the dawn of time. Some of the same craft skills and tech that gave us the industrialized revolution also made it much easier to counterfeit coins. As coins spread, the use of banknotes grew. And here's a fake silver dollar made in Birmingham versus a technique invented in Sheffield. Then he goes on to say the banknotes further increased trust, example of vulnerability to the actions of third parties. Gold came to be held in centralized vaults and IOUs for much more than the gold that were actually issued. Fractional reserve banking, FRB. Governments helped set up the largest banks, which then printed even more banknotes, sound familiar, and then used them to buy government debt. These banks became the Bank of England, or were set up as the Federal Reserve, note issuing monopolies, which we now call central banks. So he's landing some amazing points here. Eventually, default turned these gold IOU paper notes into fiat. B of E started refusing to honor its notes in 1931. The Fed reduced the amount of gold it would redeem $1 for in 1933, restricted gold trade by targeting the centralized bank vaults, and went full fiat in 1971 when Nixon took the United States off the gold standard. Here's an example showing how, despite authority resemblance, the fundamental nature of US dollars radically changed over the course of the 20th century. They look similar, but the kind of money they represent is radically different. And again, that goes back to, let's look at the dates on these. Let me jump out of here for a second. Let's take a look at that. So this is what it looked like, redeemable in gold demand at the United States Treasury or in gold of lawful money in any Federal Reserve Bank. This is a series from 1928. Now in 1934, it said this note's legal tender for all debts, public and private, and redeemable as lawful money in the United States Treasury or at a Federal Reserve Bank. This is 1934, and here we get into from 63 to 74. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. You know, we lost the gold, we lost all this bit right here, so you can see. This was a very, really good tweet that I really liked. Sabo made some good points in there, and I think it's a good learning experience for all of us. I think looking for the future and what we're looking at, look, don't think that any of us are not susceptible to these scams. You know, as a community, let's get out there ahead of this. Let's do our part to make sure that these scammers don't get away from all this stuff. That's my take. I want to hear what you think. Let me know down below. That's all I have for today. I'll see you on the next one. Chip out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.